Two of the world's richest men are locked in a multi-billion-pound lawsuit at a London court. RT's Ivor Bennett has been listening to their expensive arguments and joins us live now. So Ivor, Roman Abramovich, he's the man hoping to keep hold of his money. He was the one in the dock today. What did he have to say?
Well, this is actually the first time that Mr. Abramovich has actually given evidence and spoken in this hearing, despite it already going on for 4 weeks. That's just to give you an idea of how long-winded this whole process is, and today was no different. However, it was fascinating to hear him speak and to see this going on, because he's a man that's one of the richest in the world with an estimated fortune, personal fortune of over £10 billion, yet he very rarely speaks to the media, if at all, and yet today all of that intrigue and mystery suddenly evaporated as he was put on the spot and reduced to being just an ordinary member of the public. Basically, he was visibly nervous, he was shy, shaking a little bit, swallowing his words, and there's a lot at stake here. He's being sued by Mr. Berezovsky for £3.5 billion, a third of his personal wealth. Mr. Berezovsky and him were the co-founders of the oil company Sibneft. Now, Mr. Berezovsky alleges that he was blackmailed into selling his shares in that company for a fraction of their true value. Now, in this cross-examination today, that's just started, what Berezovsky's lawyers were focusing on really were details to really discredit Mr. Abramovich. We've heard allegations that he was involved in the arms business after details emerged of meetings with Brazilians about tanks and things like that. Also allegations that he lied about his education. So whilst these details might not be key to the actual case, it's an attempt by Berezovsky's lawyers to discredit Mr. Abramovich. However, to some extent, this was lost in translation, because Mr. Abramovich is actually giving evidence in Russian, and several times he had to ask for the question to be repeated, and that's partly why this process is so long-winded, and it will carry on to be.
Ivor, the two men at the centre of this case are normally hidden behind walls of secrecy. You've already mentioned a couple of interesting revelations already in this court case. Now, anything new, though, revealed that is of significance? Well, as that pertains to the case, not entirely, just these details really to discredit Mr. Abramovich. What this really was today was the first chink in his very thick armour, and that of Mr. Berezovsky as well, and both of them are concealed behind this curtain of money and mystery, and this hearing has really been the peak behind that. Both men turn up to court in very shiny cars, Mr. Berezovsky, or Mr. B as the bodyguards call him, turning up in a Maybach, Mr. A, Mr. Abramovich in a Mercedes. They're all both flanked by bodyguards, translators, lawyers. They've each got a team of about 15. Now, Mr. Berezovsky's claim, what's central to his claim, that is based on their close relationship, former close relationship. They don't really speak, they're not on speaking terms now, and rarely see each other apart from in court. He says they were very close friends. He was his mentor, and they were business partners. Yet today, Mr. Abramovich released a statement denying that. He said they weren't close friends, and he says, quote, had no obligation to indulge his fantastic demands. Now, part of the problem with actually establishing what exactly the deals were between these men is because none of it was actually written down. Now, this is a fact that doesn't seem to surprise or shock these men. They take it as fact, obviously, and they say, well, that's just the way it was, because this was, after all, 90s Russia. Ivor, thanks very much indeed. Intriguing case there taking place in London. Ivor Bennett, thanks very much indeed for that update.